Damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Okay. Testing. Yeah, I think the sound today is correct. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream today. Hope you are all enjoying and having a great day. As always, I know most of you are at home, so I do apologize for that. but I hope you're all you know, in good health. Hope all your family is okay as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are already having 40 people pretty much online. As the chat already noticed, we finally have a new badge, a badge for 1 year subscriptions. So as you can see, I just removed the logo from Hugo's desk and put a 1, so that everyone that has that logo knows that they have been joined this stream for a year now. Yeah, thanks for the thing about the shirt. I love this video game. Like, I don't know if you've ever played Shovel Knight, but Shovel Knight is an incredible game. Really recommend anyone to play Shovel Knight. So today I think I'm on my correct microphone, because last week I was on my webcam microphone, which is horrible. I think it is. At least you can hear my sexy voice now. Happy Easter, whoever is actually celebrating Easter. I don't really celebrate Easter because I'm really not that religious. I'm not religious at all, so I don't really celebrate Easter. But I understand that you know, I do like chocolate. Everyone likes chocolate, so I hope you're all good today. We're gonna be here for a couple of hours today. So I have a lot of questions for all of you here, actually, because I really wanted to make an effort to see if I can maybe get to be a partner on Twitch. And for me to be a partner on Twitch, I kind of have to start doing 3 streams a week. But I also have to get like 75 viewers all the time as an average, which is very difficult, it turns out. But really I'm going to see if I can give it a go. So I will do some polls a bit later today. I want to ask you a couple of questions about that. You know, I want to ask you what you think about us doing two or three streams. And also, I want to ask you what you think about us separating the streams between compositing and the streams about reviewing portfolios. Because I know a lot of you have portfolios to be reviewed. Just so that you know how many. I'm going to show you really quickly here. So these are how many links I have from leftovers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 showreels to review, and it's a lot. Like, it could take like hours and hours to review that many showreels. So I might start considering making a stream just for showreel reviews, you know? Sorry, I was just like minimizing my fan here so that it wouldn't be so nice, so much noise. But yeah, I think maybe we'll do a poll about that later. Anyway, I wanted to start the stream by like I usually do. I wanted to thank everyone that has been supporting my stream and my Twitch channel. So I'm gonna start by our first subscriber, and also I would like to thank Log to Linny. Now, Log to Linny has been a moderator for almost a year now. She's also was my first subscriber, so she's a subscriber for 13 months now. Thank you so much for that, Lenny. Thank you so much for that. She's also one of my students. So I'm going to give her a round of applause because she was my first subscriber. So give it up a round of applause for Lenny.
More to the left. No, a little bit more to the right. A little bit more to the left. No.
And Shia here is like blocked by subscribers as well. I'll get to you in a second.
Just a little bit more to the left.
But yeah, thank you so much, Lenny. You've been amazing, moderating everything. Today we have 2 moderators online, actually. We have Sajels, which is moderating the chat also, and we have Lenny as well, moderating the chat. And they are amazing and really help a lot into this thing, for the management of this website. So that's the first thing. I will also would like to thank the subscription Prime from, now this is going to be a tough name for me to say. It's a subscription Prime for Azi Barak Kandaz, I think that's his name. Thank you so much for the subscription on Prime, much appreciated. Also would like to thank Yulon Nur Karn for the follow. I would also like to thank Atomac for the follow. Mohammed Al Nazer for the follow as well. Also would like to thank Always Joan for the follow. That's a nice name. Also would like to thank Intruso 3D. That's a good name. Intruso 3D. Also would like to thank Marvin Jax for the follow. And let's see here. Rishi 3 for the follow. KCTijas, I think, for the follow. Alterion666 for the follow as well. And then we have Shivan Shamar Forial for the follow. You guys do not help with the names at all. Names are so difficult always. I also would like to thank the follow for Torquoise Shellcat 416 for the follow as well. And that is it. That is it for today. I'll keep celebrating all my new followers and all my subscribers. Thank you so much. Because of you, I can actually do these streams. And because of your amazing support, we can actually continue to do these week in, week out. So I have no words to thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So let's get started. We already thanked people, and I'm going to get started with just a showreel review. So let's get started with that. Now, obviously you already know how this works. I'm going to see if this person is actually here. If they're not here, then we won't do their reel. We'll wait for next time, or maybe they can apply again. So I wanted to ask if Alma Prieto 2020 is here. So is Alma Prieto here? If Alma Prieto is here, please say something. I guess that's her name, Alma Prieto. So if Alma Prieto is online, I'll give her like about 10 or 20 seconds for her to say something, and then we can move on with the stream. Someone on the chat is asking if that's a cheese rasp on the background. No, that's not a cheese rasp. This is the Mac Pro 2019, 28 cores. That's the machine I've been comping today on my compositing workshop. So this is the 28-core Mac Pro 2019. It has 288 gigs of RAM, and it has two graphic cards. You can actually see the little red lights. It has a Radeon 7 and another Radeon 7, both of them, with 16 gigs of VRAM. So it's a very powerful machine. Really would recommend. I was doing a review about it, and I still need to go back to it. I need to finish that review. So, is Alma Prieto online? Is she here? I guess not. She hasn't said anything yet. So I guess we'll move on to the next one then. Apologizes, Alma. Maybe next time. So let's go into the next one. Maybe this is going to be faster than I thought. So is Mirco? Oh, you are? Okay, cool. So then let's go with your showreel. So you already know how this works. I'm going to go and show the showreel on full screen, and then we can discuss the showreel after, okay? So let's watch the showreel first. Cool. So let's get started with this. Oh, you don't have a download. I'm gonna download this. I hope you don't mind, Alma. Alma, I'm going to download your showreel. Okay. Sorry about that. So I'm just gonna like do that. Oh yeah, already. Okay, I already have it here actually. So Sajel's already downloaded for me. Thank you so much for that, Sajel's. I'm just gonna download it in here real quick. Just give me a second. Just downloading it. Then I don't have to download it again. So I do need to get it because it's on my other machine. So if you just give me a second, I need to drag it into the correct machine. Otherwise, we're not gonna... Wait, let's not open that yet. No, because it's already starting something else. I need to go to my other machine. Just give me just 1 second. That would have been on my desktop. And that's my... yeah, so goes without saying, the next time you want to do a showreel review, it would be very helpful if we already had the showreel as a file. So maybe next time, maybe send me like a Dropbox link or something. You know, that would be so much easier for me to review. So I'm going to remove the sound, Alma. So I'm going to just go through this step by step, okay? Now, be ready for it, though. You already know, Alma, like I go quite deep into the review, and I go quite deep into in terms of feedback. So... please don't be upset with the feedback. Think it as a very as constructive feedback, and you know. And I hope you don't mind if I'll be quite harsh on the feedback. I always am on everything. But I thought the showreel was quite nice. So first of all, you have a nice intro. You have the email, the phone number, and the name. One thing I would just say, Alma, is that normally this is not necessary. There's no point of you doing a fancy intro. Most companies just want a straight meat and potatoes showreel. You know, they just want that. So they don't want you to really like spend too much time on intros. But regardless of that, it's all good. Like you have a website and you have everything there. So starting with this shot in here. So I would say that it's a nice shot, but you do have a substantial amount of problems that I would like to discuss. Okay. So first of all, you have a scaling problem with your scene. So as you can see, as I understand, this is the main plate that you have here. And then when you comped in some of these atmospherics, the atmospherics look a bit fake. And they look a bit fake because they would have to be in the correct scale. So for example, this atmospheric that you have on the front here, if it's going to be this close to camera, it would probably be bigger. So the scale would have to be a bit bigger. Because if you think about these people are probably 1 meter and a half, 1 meter 80 most likely. So, you know, I would say that the smoke would be much more, probably going all the way to half of the screen. And probably also it would be a different scale. Also the speed, you might want to consider a different element. Also the integration of that element, I really think it's too thick. Because if you think about it, if you look at your shot, the sun is here, right? So the sun is here against camera. Everything else is in shadow. This means that whatever smoke you would have on screen, you can kind of see from the real smoke you have here, all the smoke that would be on screen would never be this lit because, you see, you have the smoke being lit by the sun. It should be backlit. And at the moment, your smoke is not backlit. Your smoke is being lit by the front, which is wrong because the sun is on the back. So the light should be hitting the back of the smoke, not the front of the smoke. So I think you should select a different type of element. The other thing as well is I think your grade is a bit strange. I find it a bit awkward that the whole thing is purple. And I just feel like it's a bit unrealistic for it to be purple. It just looks a bit strange. I'm not sure I would go with that kind of color. Now, regarding your second element of smoke, the one you have here like a big puff of smoke, it's very unrealistic to have such a fast puff of smoke going on here. You can kind of see that it goes really quick and it kind of ruins the scale again. So it's almost like this puff of smoke has the same scale as the one on the front. And that would be impossible. You see, the wispness of this smoke should never be this big. And then this one should never be this small. And then, again, this is too big for the people next to it. And also, it's a really fast puff of smoke. Not to mention that I think your smokes need to be a bit better integrated. And again, why is this smoke so bright? It's taking the sun. This is in shadow. so the sun would never be hitting this piece of smoke, so it would never really light it so much, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of be careful with that. So then apart from that, what I think it would probably as a CG, I guess this is either CG or a matte painting, I think it looks okay. It looks fine to me. It's kind of looks like it's still moving. It might be just because maybe the camera has a slight move, but that's okay. I think it's fine. I would really kind of like, I think this is the best integration you have on it, although I would just ask, where does this specular highlight come from? Like if the sun is there, there's no other spotlights, why would you have a specular highlight here? Because this specular highlight, wouldn't it be from the sun, but the sun is on the back, so you have a couple of light problems on your shot, okay? So just be careful with that. And also I think I would really believe that if you had such a strong sun here, you would literally have a more feathered and more diffused light wrapping going on, you know? So I would definitely go with a bigger light wrap. So this shot, you have a bit of a problem with this shot, Alma, because it's your first shot. So you need to be careful because your first shot needs to really showcase the best work you've ever done. And at the moment, it doesn't really showcase the best work ever. It kind of showcases a lot of problems, and you need to be careful because you might have an issue and you might have people switching off your showreel because they didn't like the first shot, okay? So you want to consider having the best shot at the start. Move on to the next shot. The other thing would be, it would be nice if you can write what you've done, okay? I think it would be very good if you kind of actually do that, so that you can write, okay, CG compositing, light wrap, like you can just write at least what you've done. I think that would be good. Now, in terms of this shot here, so very simple shot. You just like basically tracked in and did some grading. I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? So I'm just going to watch it again. Just watch it again. Yeah, you basically have a grade, and then you basically have a track on that thing there. You never showed me the whole shot, so I can never really judge if the track is really good because, okay, that's the final shot, okay, because you interrupt the movement of the shot with the breakdown. I don't think you need to have so many breakdowns on the shot, but it looks okay. It looks good. I think it looks good enough. It's not no problems on this shot whatsoever. I just feel like it's a bit weird that you have so many breakdowns about the same thing. You don't really need to have so many breakdowns, I think. Now, this shot here, so you have a pretty good key here with some motion blur and everything, and I'm guessing that shot is an actual shot just to prove that you can do a good key because it literally showcases. Another thing, again, you do the same here on that shot with the girl with the hair that you did on these guys. You never show me the full shot. I want to see the full shot. I don't want to see constantly breakdowns and breakdowns and breakdowns. You constantly wipe from green to the shot, and you never show me the whole shot. I need to see the whole shot, and then I need to see the green screen shot, and then maybe the alpha channel. And it's a bit annoying that you keep swapping with wipes, so you never let me see the shot, you know. But regardless of that, the key is very good. It has really no issues in terms of keying. Your key is very nice, but again, it's not a very challenging key. It's like black hair over green, so if it was a blonde, maybe I would have thought it was more challenging, but this is incredibly easy because you can literally do a Luma key for the key. So, you know, but well done. It was good. But I would really avoid having so many breakdown wipes, you know. It's just a bit strange. Now, this shot here, again, you've done a really good work with the key. What I'm not happy about this is the actual matte painting in the back. I just think it looks a bit flat compared to the actual quality of the footage. So you see, your footage looks to me like it was shot with the camera. I'm not sure if you shot it yourself, but if you look at the camera angle looks a little bit like it's a slightly low angle looking at him. So there's a bit of a perspective in the shot. You can kind of see from looking at his face and looking at his neck that there's almost like the vanishing point would be in a different place from your matte painting. So I would definitely perhaps maybe move your matte painting up. The other thing I can see from your matte painting is that it doesn't really respect depth of field very well. It kind of feels like every layer has the same amount of blur, and it shouldn't really do that. You know, you should kind of have a much sharper area on the green passer here, and then it progressively should become more and more defocused. And I think that's an easy thing. You know, you can maybe fix that with maybe like a fake depth of field or something like that. You can create a depth of field with a ramp or some rotos. You know, it could be quite easy for you to do that, I think. So have a think about that. So then this shot here, didn't really see any major issues. I mean, looks like the CG is well integrated. The glow looks a bit weak. I would say it would be maybe a bit brighter, but don't really see. It's a shame again that I don't know what you've done. It would be nice if you can write what you've done on the shot. And also maybe if it's a production shot, you might want to consider putting the name of who did the shot or the company that did the shot. I think that would have helped a lot, you know, for us to know. So yeah. So let's see here. So this shot here, you've done a cleanup of the car. You've removed all cars. It's very difficult to notice if it's really good, well made or not, because of course Vimeo is very compressed. It does look pretty good, but again, I suffer from the same thing. You keep doing wipes all the time, and I never get to see the whole shot as one. Like I want to see the whole shot first, and then I want to see the breakdown. And you keep interrupting the shot, so I never really know what you've done because you keep interrupting it to do a breakdown. If anything, I feel like there's a bit of darkness going on these streets here that weren't there before. So if you can kind of see from your wipe even, you see here, like the street had all of it the same exact color on the pavement. So that means the cement and the grayness of the cement was always the same tonality. And then suddenly, for some reason, it's now darker here, and I'm not really sure what happened there. I think it's could be like maybe your painting was done with a lot of color correction, or maybe you cloned from the wrong place. You just have to be careful to keep consistency. So, because the whole street is one single gray color, so you want to make sure it continues the same color. Because I literally noticed the difference here when I see a line. You clearly see that here. You see. We see the difference between it. So maybe look at that and see what happened there. Apart from that, I think you did a good job. But you are changing the shot a bit too much. You know, just be careful with that because kind of missing again because you didn't do the whole thing with. Okay, now you see this is really annoying because you're doing a wipe on the wrong frame. So, you see, I wanted to see what you've done regarding this area here, and I can't because that area is now below here. So it's really annoying because you're wiping on the wrong frame. So as someone watching a breakdown, they're going to be really upset about that because it's just weird to have wipes on the wrong frame, okay? So look into that because this is a nice shot. It would be nice if we could really see it. Now, this shot here, immediately when I watched it, I saw a bit of a problem. And the problem, actually, you can kind of see it when you wipe it. So, you see, when I look at it at the final thing, this looks pretty cool. You know, I think you did a good job with the rest of the forest. It looks almost like a really thick forest. But there's some kind of problem going on here on the interaction, you know. There's just some kind of weird thing going on here. So, for example, if I go... It's almost like there's a bit of a stretch or something. Let me just go to the original frame. So, you see here? So, you see these trees here and these sticks here, I think these are like light, like even this house and everything. These sticks here were like straight, and now for some reason they're stretched. You see, there's like a bit of a problem here with the stretch. It's almost like you're projecting and you didn't really kept it straight. You're projecting it in the wrong place. So you need to be careful with that. And also the connection point between your CG forest and your real forest is so blurred. Look at the amount of blur that you have here, which almost looks like it's dust. You can't really do that. You have to try to... What I would suggest to you is maybe keep all of this, remove these houses, and try to not do a line to cut. Instead of doing a line, do like, you know, use the sorry, I went to the wrong place. Use the landscape onto your advantage where the eyes are, you know. So if you look in here, because you see, I can clearly see a line where you've done your stitching. So try to use into the advantage. For example, use this line here instead, and then maybe go a little bit up, and then maybe go a little bit down, and then maybe go a little bit up again, and then maybe keep using parts and stuff, almost like a little jigsaw puzzle, you know. If you do a bit of jigsaw puzzle connecting the CG and the matte painting, it will be much harder for anyone to notice the extension. It will be much harder for anyone to ever notice that you've actually done that. So just be careful with that, okay? Let's go. But the shot looks nice. You just need to fix this stretching and this kind of like problem you have here, and then the blurriness. These are the two things you need to kind of like work on. And then I really don't understand what's this shot. So what is this thing? Because I don't really see the point. You don't show me any breakdown. You don't even... I guess you're just saying goodbye, I guess. But I don't really understand what this shot is. Again, I think maybe it would be nice if you would write what you've done. Now, to recap the whole thing, you know. So I really want you to... I should probably turn on my lights because it's really dark here now. I'm going to just turn on the lights so we can see a bit better. So just to recap, I would say that in regards of your shots, I would definitely not start with this shot because this is not your best shot. If anything, I think you probably could start either, you know, by a keying shot. So if you could get this shot to have a nice breakdown, maybe that could be the start one. But I would really want to see this shot with an alpha channel. And also your background, it's very hard for me to believe that the depth of field will be like that. Because for this to work, like, this would have to be shot... She would have had to be like a mile away from the background, and I just don't believe that. So try to make the background a bit less defocused and maybe do a breakdown properly. But I think any of your keying shots, you can fix the matte. If you can fix the matte painting here, I think this could be a good shot for the being on the beginning as well. And definitely your full matte painting shot, this shot here, and then this shot here are really good to start with as well. But you need to fix them. You know, you really need to fix them. So I would just avoid having these two shots as a starting point, because if you start with this shot and then go on to that shot, I don't really believe that you're good, you know, because I haven't... And a lot of times, you know, you remember supervisors sometimes have hundreds of showreels that they're watching. So it could be that I just, like, skip your showreel because I didn't like these two first shots. So you just have to be a bit careful with that, okay? But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this feedback. Let's do that then. Okay. Now I wanted to do something. We'll do another reel just in a second. I just wanted to do a poll. Okay, I'm gonna do a poll for all of you. So I'm gonna do a new poll. So the question is, should I make a weekly stream for showreels? So this would be. Let's see. Wait a minute, because I think I have mistakes on my... Sorry, I just need to use Grammarly for a second. I'm going to do a poll for you to all vote, because I kind of want to know what you think about this, because my understanding is that it's a bit annoying if someone comes to this stream to watch reviews, then they're really happy, but then if someone comes to the stream to just watch compositing, then they're going to be a bit upset. Although I would say that even if you are just coming for compositing, watching a showreel review is very good for you to learn from the mistakes of others. I really think that it's a good way for you to practice, because then you can see what other people have done wrong, and then you can look at your own showreel and then kind of basically debate, okay, maybe I should fix this, maybe I should do that, because then I'm going to fix my showreel. So I think it's important for all of you to watch the showreel reviews, because it develops your eye for attention and develops also, you know, you can kind of see what a supervisor is looking for. because then you can see what me, you know, I have 20 years of experience and I'm a VFX soup, and you then know, okay, these are the things that supervisors are looking for. So I just wanted to ask everyone on the chat here. So should I make a weekly stream for Showreels? And then I'll just gonna make yes, no, continue as we are. So the question would be, should I make a weekly stream for Showreels? Just this means I would do one day would just be compositing, the other day would just be showreel reviews. Okay, so I'm not going to allow additional votes. Anyone can only vote once. Okay, I'm gonna keep this vote open for 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I won't allow one extra vote, so anyone can just vote once. Okay, so I'm gonna start the poll and see what you all think about this. So I put up a poll there. I think it should show up anytime soon. Yeah, it should show up on the top there. Can you see the vote? I hope you... Yeah, I can see if people are voting. So there's 2 minutes to go. I might be... Maybe I should open up the tweet and actually show it. That would be maybe a good idea. Let's just put the vote up in here so you can all see it. So this is the vote so far. Yeah, there you go. So we have... yeah, I think it's going to win to make an oh, I mispronounced weekly. Sorry about that. That was a mistake I did. Sorry about that. So I went to Grammarly and it was not well made, was it? Sorry about that. So the whole point of this would be like that I would make a stream of like 2 hours where I would just review showreels. And then the other stream would be only compositing. So that would be or we just continue as we are, which is literally just like the same stream where I mix and match. Okay, so that would be the idea. Would be that maybe, you know, let's for example imagine on Sundays I do showreel reviews, and maybe on Wednesdays I do compositing. You know, I'm not really sure about the schedule yet, but I think that would be the way to go. I think it's gonna win. We should do weekly showreel reviews. So I definitely can see there's 25 people voted. So don't forget, guys, you still have a couple of seconds to vote. So if anyone hasn't voted yet, you should vote now. Okay. So because I can see that only like 30 people have voted. So if you want to vote, you need to vote now. It's on the top of the chat to vote. You only have like 5 seconds or 6 seconds to vote. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, and the vote is gonna win. So we have 82%. Yeah, so that was like 82% for making a weekly showreel. So we have 27 votes basically. Cool, that sounds good to me. So I will do that then. I will start making a separate stream just for the showreel reviews. Okay, so that means I will always announce. Okay, today it's gonna be just compositing. Today it's gonna be just showreel reviews. And I might also do streams about games as well. I think I want to do that as well. Now I'm going to ask the chat as well. No, we'll do another poll in a minute or so. Obviously, it would be nice if we can all show up on the streams anyway, because like I said, I'm really trying to become a partner on Twitch, because then I can kind of like monetize my channel a bit better. So it would be nice if we can always join the stream. I only need to be a partner on Twitch. I only need to do this once at least. Now the difficulty of becoming a partner of Twitch is that you need to have at least 75 people watching as average, which is quite tricky. You know, it is quite tricky because it's not easy to get it to 75. But hopefully, maybe you can help me with that. Okay, so let's do well, we've been running for 45 minutes already, so I'm gonna do a break, and then when we come back from the break, okay, we are going to do another showreel review, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, so don't go anywhere. As you know, we come back soon, so the break will be 5 minutes. Don't forget to stretch your legs. Don't forget to relax your eyes for a bit, and also drink some water as well. It's really important for you to do that. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, I'm back. Hope you've all stretched your legs and hope you are having some fun today. I'm just going to swap this thing around because I have the window here wrong so that I can see what I'm doing. That would be a good idea. Yeah, let's just continue. We're going to continue with another showreel review in a second or two. One thing I wanted everyone to know is that I don't know if you've actually watched my last webinar with the Foundry. So I don't know if you've missed it or not. So this is I did this on Thursday, I believe. I think it was Thursday. Was it Thursday? Maybe it was can't remember now. But yeah. This was a session which was about alternative methods of income with the creative industry. And basically what we've covered on this session was, talking about what people should do during the pandemic because they can't really get a regular job, There's always alternatives of, of doing Kickstarters, of doing Patreons, of doing videos, of learning stuff as well. So I wanted to share this with everyone here. So I'm gonna paste the link here. So if anyone wants to watch it, obviously you can't watch it live anymore because we did it live, but you can rewatch. It's basically with me, with Juan Salazar and Jen Goldfinch. So you can rewatch this. Just follow that link. You just need to sign up, and then you can watch it for free. And the cool thing is you can still watch it with the chat. You can still see the whole thing, which is good. So maybe watch that. It's eventually going to become part of my YouTube channel, or potentially the YouTube channel of the Foundry, but I'm not really sure yet. Anyway, but let's then move on to the next showreel. So we've done Alma's showreel, so I hope Alma was happy with the feedback. So I'm gonna delete her showreel from the list. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. So is Mirco, is it Mirco that I say? I guess it is. Is Mirco around as well? Is he around? Is he still here? If he's still here, we can do his review right now. Is he here? Okay, cool. So let's do your review now. So Mirco, I'm gonna just put this in full screen and then we can watch it as usual. So I'm gonna just put it full screen and then we can review it after. Let's just do that now. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna download your showreel because I don't have like a link here. So I don't know if Sajel's already. Oh yeah, you did. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sajel's. How do I download this thing? Okay, so it's a short link. Let me just copy it over here. Thank you so much, Sajel's. Oh, wait a minute, that didn't work. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. How do I use this link, man? Because you've sent me. Where does the link start? Because it doesn't really work. Is it like what? Just like that? Ah, okay, I see. It was doubling up. Never mind. So let's just download that. So your showreel is pretty good, but I do have some stuff to say. I do apologize for that. Let's just I'll put myself back here. So let's start off with. Oh, we had a little glitch on the thing. Don't forget as well that this stream is not just. Oh, we did had a little glitch. Look at that. It went down the stream. That's not good. Is it back? Is it back? Did we lost the stream? Did we lost the stream? Everyone still here? Okay, yeah, we didn't yeah, I think we lost the stream just for a second or so. But I think we're back, aren't we? Can everyone hear me? It's online? Okay. I think there was like a little bit of a glitch there. It's been quite tricky lately with Twitch streams because, you know, obviously the internet is pretty, you know, everyone is home. So anyway, so I do have a lot of things to say about your showreel. So let's get started here. I'm going to remove the sound, by the way. So I like your intro. So CG integration is responsible for lighting and compositing. So you did the lighting, so I'm assuming you're a CG artist as well, I guess. So, so in here, I would say that the only thing, unfortunately, for me, like the only thing that is really bringing your shot down is the animation. The animation is really stiff, and I know the animation is not yours. I understand that. So I'm just like, it's a shame because it's really like bringing the, you know, the shot down really in terms of quality. But I know it's not really your problem. But as far as I can see, it looks to me like you've lost a little bit of motion blur on the bird. It feels to me like it's a bit too sharp on the edges. If you really think about like the way that this branch, for example, the way the branch is quite blurred, you know, you can kind of see that the branch has a bit of blur. And I think your bird is maybe perhaps a tad too sharp. Especially on the motion blur, it looks to me a bit too sharp. But I'm being very, very picky. I think the shot looks great, and I think you also did a really good job with the fog on the background as well. You did added extra depth of field, which is a bit strange because normally you don't add more stuff. You know, normally you keep whatever the shot has, and you don't really change the shot. But I'm assuming maybe that was a creative decision, so that's fine. You know. I completely understand that. Now, in terms of your second shot, I think your second shot definitely is losing the mark. It's not as good as the first one, especially because if you look at the raw plate, like you can kind of see that this person is being lit by the sky, which is pretty sunny and actually pretty bright on the top. You can clearly see that there's like light on his shoulders, there's light on him. But then when you go into your matte painting, you see this is a very cast day, a super cast day, very gray day, and at the moment we've lost every single piece of detail on the trees there. I think you went a bit too far with the darkness in the black point here, and then he still looks very, very much bright to me. I wouldn't believe that he would be that bright because it would be much more on shadow really. So I think there's something wrong there on that shot. I would definitely look into the lighting of that shot. Now this one is full CG. You were responsible for the compositing. There's quite a lot of problems with your edges here, so you can kind of see that the depth of field is not, it's completely broken here inside the tree, inside the leaves here. You can kind of see that there's like an edge. You see that edge there? There's like edges of the depth of field. And this is a problem because you're probably doing edge extension on the depth of field. You're probably doing edge extension on the depth of field on these front layers, and that's why you're having this issue. I would really recommend you to render this leaf as a separate layer, you know, and then once you have it as a separate layer, then you can control the depth of field much better. I think the problem is that you're using the same depth of field with the two layers, and that's why you're having an issue. So I would recommend you to separate both, because until you do that, you'll never have this issue solved. You see, you have the same issue here. You see that? You see that? Oh, sorry, I went too far. Sorry, again, I have to like scrub to that again. I forget that the mouse wheel scrubs the video footage as well. Sorry about that. So in here, you can kind of see that if I go frame by frame. You see how broken that is? So you see the edge of this is like perfect, and then the frame before it's actually really bad, and then it kind of the edges of the leaves pass through and break all the edges. And again, this is just because your depth of field is merged, you know. You want to have them separate layers. So that's the only way. Either to render those two as separate layers or to use deep compositing. If you use deep compositing, you could also solve this issue as well very easily, okay? So I think that would be one thing to do. Regardless of that, the shot looks fine. It looks okay, but it's a shame that we lost all the details from everything else. You know, you have like a really nice water here. You have a nice detail from the background. If I was doing this shot, you know, myself, I would definitely put a backlight back there. So you see all this darkness that you have inside here on the CG, because of course you then basically just put like some kind of fog atmosphere. Let me just go to the final section here. It would look so much better if you had like some kind of light behind it, almost like there's maybe like you know, maybe there's an open area behind all these trees, because then you could see the outlines of all this geometry, and would just make it so much nicer to be backlit. I think it would just work better to be backlit. I would advise you to try to do that. That could fix some of the overall look of the shot. And also, I would lit up a little bit these details here, because we kind of lost them, most of them, and it's a shame. Now, this one here looks much better. Full CG responsible for compositing. This shot here is much, much better in terms of compositing. You've done a really good job with separating the layers with depth of field. It feels to me like the lizard should have motion blur, especially here. If I zoom in here, it's this thing. Wait, I don't want to watch that now. So you see, especially here, if I go frame by frame, from this leg to that leg, there should be motion blur, because it's such a big jump from frame to frame. It would always do motion blur. And this goes on from all the shots. And also the animation is so stiff. You see here, when you look at the motion blur, would fix some of the issues you have with the animation, because it's so linear. You see the hand is like static there, almost looks like a robot moving. Animals don't really move that way. So you want to maybe consider asking your animator to try to do a better work on the animation. But definitely, I think the motion blur would solve a lot of those problems. But it's a really cool shot. It's a really, really cool shot. If you've forgotten the motion blur pass, that's not a big deal. You know, you could fake the motion blur by just using the motion blur. You know, like you can just use you might look at, for example, this one here. So you see, obviously this already has motion blur baked in. That's fine. But if I would, where's the beauty? So if I would pick this guy up, if I just put motion blur from 2D, so if I just put it as a filter, I could also get it to work. Oh, sorry, that's not the motion blur I want to put. It's this motion blur, this one. So, because this one is the GPU accelerated. So if I just wait a second, because it takes a bit of time for it to preview. Ah, come on, don't do this to me. I need to go to a frame where we have a lot of movement. Otherwise, this is not going to work. So let's go to this area here, and then maybe check this. I'm going to put like samples of 10, and I'm going to put 0.5 of shutter speed. So you see, obviously it's not perfect, but you could fake the 2D motion blur. You see, I'm already adding more motion blur to the image. So you could use a 2D motion blur. It could at least help. At least, you know, it might give you some artifacts, but you can clean those artifacts, you know. Even if you can't generate a vector blur, you could do it faked. And if you can't get a motion blur, a vector blur from CG, there's another way of getting it. You can bring in the geometry into Nuke and then use the scanline render of Nuke to output a motion vector. Because you see, if you bring in geometry, the scanline render, it has a shader, and you see it can create motion vectors. So that means you could create your own motion vectors directly, okay? That would be what I would advise to you. Now this head here, I don't know if the objective was to make it look like a video game, but it does look like a video game. It's really not well achieved, but I'm not sure if the idea is to make it fake, to make it like a CG head, or if the idea is to actually make it photoreal, because if it's to make it photoreal, it's not photoreal at the moment. There's quite a lot of problems going on this CG head. So first of all, if you look at it, there's quite a lot of issues with, for example, the skin. The skin looks to me like the pores are too big and they need more detail. The nose looks like it has too much of a scattering. If you think about it, like this nose would never pick up this much of a scattering because there's nothing bright behind it, you know? Why would it be so subsurface with nothing bright behind it, at least not something as bright as it should? Because it almost looks like the nose is almost semi-transparent. The other thing as well that you have issues with, you see you have a bit of depth of field going on the forehead here, but then there's no depth of field inside the glass. So the glass, this piece of the glass should actually be blurred because your background is so blurred. So there's a lot of problems on this shot, I think. You should really look into that. Same goes for this one here. Although it might look good, it's not looking very, very photoreal at the moment. And I think most of the photorealism is lacking from the texture work. I think the texturing work is not really detailed enough. It's too big. The pores are too big. It just needs more details, which is a shame because it would look really nice. And also the lighting perhaps is really a bit subpar. I think the lighting needs to be a bit more dramatic because it's a bit flat at the moment. But definitely it's not looking photoreal at all. I think the same goes for this shot here. I think your integration with the bike requires a little bit more work, although it looks okay. But first of all, when I look at the track shakes a little bit. That's the first thing that I saw, especially on the second shot. I saw that the track is shaking a bit. I'll show you what I mean. So in here, especially at the end, let me just go frame by frame. So if I'm going to just zoom in, if you look at the bike here, you can kind of see, if I go frame by frame, you can kind of see there's a lot of shakes on the bike that are not actually on the image. In fact, if I go in here and zoom in like this, you can kind of probably see the shakes. Let's see here. It's good, but it's not perfect. But in terms of CG, like I think your black point is on par, and the CG looks nice. I'm just missing some extra details. For example, I think this motor is way too clean. You need to probably put a bit of dirt on it, a bit of scratch. The same things with this metal here, should be a bit more scratched. The rubber should be a bit more dirt. I just feel like it's a bit too clean, the whole thing. Remember, these bikes are outside, you know, they should actually pick up a little bit of stuff, you know, because obviously they are on the environment. So, and also I think in terms of sharpness, it might be a little bit too sharp, especially on the metal here. I think it just needs a little bit blurred, but I'm being very picky, okay? This is very good work. I'm just like being extra picky because obviously I want it to be perfect. Now, I really enjoyed the fact that you actually put the names of people that work on this project. I think that's really terrific. And congratulations for that. It's always good for you to like credit every single person that is on the project for sure. So this is a good showreel, man. Like congratulations. And I think you just have some little small stuff to do, you know. But yeah, Sajal says you should remove the bike models, not detailed enough. I think it's detailed enough. I just think it needs more extra dirt. It needs scratches. It just needs a bit more, you know, like more stuff for it to look a bit more real. I think that's the same problem with the bike. It's the same problem with the CG face. You just need to add that extra layer of believability, which is not happening on the shot right now. But I think you did a good job. So congratulations on that. So let's move on to the next showreel. So next showreel would be, let's see here. It would be Tommaso. So Tommaso here is, let's see here. So I think Tommaso, do I have Tommaso's showreel? Do I have that? Tommaso is still here. I just saw him. Yes, yeah, I did. Let's see here. So, am I right? Yeah, Mirco is done. Tommaso is going to be next. So, Tommaso is still here for sure. I just need to download his Showreel. Does his Showreel have... So, Gels, did you download... did you download the Showreel from Tommaso? Did you do that already? Oh, man, it's so warm on my studio. Jesus. It's like so sunny outside. I can't believe we're all locked out. Okay, he's on it. Okay, cool. So let's just watch the Showreel first, and then we can download it. So, Tommaso, we're going to watch your Showreel first, and then we're going to move on, okay? To watch it frame by frame. So let's watch it first, then we can continue. Okay. Cool. That was good, Tommaso. Happy Easter to you too, Psalm2788. Thank you so much for that. I'm just going to download Tommaso's Showreel, and then we can continue. So, let me just... sorry. Okay. Let's just move on that thing. Where is it? Where is it? Where's the Showreel? Where did it go? Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. That's Tommaso's Showreel. So, Tommaso, that was a nice Showreel, but I do have some stuff to say. I would say, so Junior Compositor Showreel 2020. That's all cool. You have your... This is, of course, a good for everyone on this chat. You always want to put your phone number, your email, and everything. So that's good. So, first off, Tommaso, it would be nice if I knew what you did. Like, I'm assuming this is just compositing. You didn't do the CG, right? I'm assuming that. Like, so maybe next, if you, because some people might think the CG was done by you or something, so might want to consider that. So you have some good roto, you have some good tracking. I think your CG though is not very well integrated. I would say that there's a couple of problems on it. So first of all, and I think this is really to do with maybe the lighting as well on it. First of all, the actual details, and this is probably not a problem. This is something you can't fix yourself because you didn't do the CG. But just looking at this, it doesn't seem to me like these lights match. So you see, this environment is very greenish with a very soft light coming from above. And then suddenly I have a very harsh spotlight on the surface of the CG, and it doesn't really have that green tonality from the interior. And I feel that could be because maybe you can tweak that on grading, but I just feel like the light is not really matching. I just don't believe that it would be so strong, that spotlight. Also, in terms of the glows as well, if you're really going to have this bright reds here, you want to make sure you have like a bit of a haze, because you see this shot, you know, it's so dark inside this room, these reds would reflect to the interior of the room. This means you would have to have a little bit of these reds dropping some kind of light into the wall, a little bit of light on the floor. All these red lights would actually make a little bit of a reddish tint around it. So I think you need to kind of like look into that. In terms of the cleanup of the shot, looks terrific. Track also looks good. You did a good job there. The roto also looks nice. I really like your transparency. It's really nice with The transparency you build on the glass, that's really a nice touch in here. As you can see here, that's working really nice. So yeah, I think the shot is good. I think you're just losing a bit from the quality of the CG. So if someone could probably help your CG artist to maybe light the shot better, that would be nice. Because it would really bring your shot up, you know. Now, in terms of this shot, typical green screen, I think you did a really good job with the key. I don't see any issues whatsoever. The hair looks very detailed. The edges, there's no black edges on anything. If anything, I would just say that the, you know, I guess the grading probably is like a decision from a creative, from the director, but your edges are all there. I think you did a wonderful job with that. And especially the depth of field also matches, since we can kind of see the girl on the back there is really defocused. The lamp is also super defocused, so it kind of matches the whole thing. So I think you did a good job there. It's definitely a good shot. It would have been nice to maybe see the alpha channel. I think that would have been nice. I think Sajals is right. There should have been some kind of glare or some gloom from the metal and also from the red, especially the red's lights as well. They should have some kind of gloom and some glow. Maybe watch some films that would have like robots during the night, you know, because then you can kind of see how that works. Maybe get some references, or maybe even shoot some red lights in an environment similar to this one to see how it looks. I think that could help as well quite a lot. So maybe look into that. So yeah, this green screen looks great. I don't really have anything to say about that. Now, this one is actually cool. I have quite a few things to say, but it's nice that someone is showing me rotoscoping, proper rotoscoping, okay? This is how to present rotoscoping, which is really cool. You're showing all the divisions of the roto. You're showing me all the shapes that you've done. That's really nice. I think you did a good job there, because then you can you're showing me that you know what you're doing, you know, because most people doing roto, they sometimes forget to split shapes like this. And especially when you move, you can clearly see you've kept the consistency of all your shapes. This is really good work. Now let's talk. This is the good thing, okay? Now let's talk about the bad stuff. First of all, I think that the muzzle flash is way too small. Like, I just feel like it has no interaction with anything almost. Like, first of all, I think you should maybe perhaps make the muzzle flash a little bit bigger. And also, I think you need to recreate a bit more lighting interaction, especially on the hand, especially on this side of the hand, and even so on the gun itself. The light would affect the gun a little bit. I like your cartridge coming out. That's really nice. And the background also looks a bit fake. I would never really believe that it would be that defocused, especially because when I look at the original plate, where's the original plate? I just feel, well, actually, okay, you're right. Okay, so you shot this probably with an F3 or F2 or something like that. It's really blurred. But there's just something fishy about your blurred. So, for example, if you look at this background, you can kind of see there's like a substantial amount of blooming happening on your depth of field. And that's actually lost on your background. Your background looks very mushy. There's no bright areas. It's all very much looks like a blur. It doesn't really look like a defocused. As opposed to your original one, which looks like a defocus. You have the bloom, you have the shape of the lens, and you have this overall feel of defocus that you've actually missed on your background. So I think your background needs a bit of work for that to happen. Okay? But other than that, it's a nice shot, man. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. The muzzle flash. So is this a real gun? You have smoke coming out of it. Is this comped smoked, or is this an actual gun? Is this a real gun? I'm kind of curious now. Did you actually shot a real gun for this? That's impressive. Okay. Let me know if you actually shot a real gun. It's a real Glock. Jesus, what the hell? What the hell are you? Are you like a police officer, Tommaso? It's footage. Okay. Easily found on YouTube. Okay, okay, fine. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, so you don't have any motion blur in your gun though when the movement goes down, but I guess that's okay. Depends on how you want to deliver this roto. You might put the motion blur or not, so it depends really how you want to deliver the motion blur to the senior or to the artist. But it feels to me like you're lacking some motion blur when the gun goes down, because it's going down so quick, you know. So I would definitely I would say needs more blur, you know. Now this shot here, let's see here. Yeah, so you did a nice projection. Track looks solid. Oh, wait a minute. I was too quick. Need to go back a bit. Now, I noticed a couple of things, but it looks pretty good. But let's see here. So let's start with this fella here. So with this door here. So as I go through, I think you're changing the background too much. So you see here, you're basically kind of like moving the rocks from other places. So I think it's probably, well, it looks good enough, but it just feels to me like you've changed it a bit too much. But maybe it's okay. I think you can get away with it. Let's have a look at this one here again. A bit more close, because I need to see if this blur is actually part of it or not, because was it actually on the plate? Because I don't think it was for the project. It's a good cleanup method, but yeah, there you go. So if I now go in here, it's Vimeo compression. It's very hard to notice, but I feel like I can kind of feel that I see your patches of blur here, and you need to look into this. I feel like you need to kind of work your patches a bit better, because I don't think this looked like that on the original. We actually saw completely, because you see this is a floor with like lines, and you've completely removed those lines. It's too much blur there. But it's a good track. I think you did a good job. You just need to be careful with the blur, okay? Just be careful with that. That would be the only thing I would say. Oh, wait a minute. Now this track is sliding, I'm afraid, so you can kind of see the DHL logo is actually sliding on the vehicle. So if I zoom in quite a lot, you can kind of see that. So if you see the perspective doesn't hold up, especially if I need to get a controller here to show you. I'm going to zoom in a bit more, especially if I scrub faster. It slides a little bit. You need to be careful with that, because it's sliding a little bit. It doesn't slide much though. The one on the front here slides a little bit as well. So if I zoom in a little bit more, you can kind of see it sliding a little bit. But I understand it's a really tricky track, you know. The other thing I would say as well is not only it slides a little bit, but I would definitely defocus the DHL logo more. You see, you did a good job with the one on the front. The one on the front is actually quite blurred, just like the front lamps there. But then I wouldn't believe that this DHL would be that sharp, because if you look at it, if you look at the blurriness, you see how blurred these ribbons are here and how blurred these lines are, and then your DHL logo is quite sharp. I would definitely put a couple of more blur, like maybe 2 or 3 pixels more blur on this DHL logo. Okay. Oh, okay, so the footage already has compression? Oh, that's tricky, man. That's really tricky. If this is internet footage, then well done, because internet footage is really difficult to work with. So if you're telling me that all this footage is actually from the web, then you did a really good job, man. I think that's impressive stuff then, because it's not easy to use highly compressed footage. It's so difficult. So good job with that. Okay, so I think that's the last shot, right? I think it is the last shot. Then you added some elements which look nice as well. Some cracks, that looks nice. Very subtle stuff, but looks very cool as well. The 66 also looks good as well. Looks to me like it holds up quite nicely, although the only thing I would say is the whites are not correct. Like, if you think about it, you see the amount of whiteness that this line has and the amount of whiteness that that line has. You have a bit of gray on this logo. It needs to have that kind of punch of white. So you basically need to just punch this white out a little bit so that it would actually, you know, would actually be merged. Only Tears of Steel chroming. Yeah, it is very impressive, man. Very impressive. If everything is from the internet, you did a really good job. Like, Jesus, that's impressive. But I think you can still fix this white. This one also looks pretty terrific. I think you did a good job with the key. I would say, though, that your depth of field on the back looks very flat. It looks a bit strange because every single thing has the same amount of depth of field. I would never keep it that, you know, because these trees would be less blurred than the one on the back in the sky. So everything should have a different level of depth of field, especially the water as well. So I would try to fake your depth of field, but the key looks terrific. Yeah, I think you did a really good job with the key. So yeah, it's a really good showreel. I just think you started with the wrong shot, you know, because remember, everyone looking at your showreel is going to, like, judge you from the first shot, you know. The first shot is going to be the most important shot you have, and then they're going to judge everything else from there, and this is not your best shot, okay? I think you should put this more to the end. Definitely, I think the best shots you have on your showreel, or definitely this key looks really good. I also think your second key looks really good as well, so you should probably start with those shots. I would then maybe venture into maybe the cleanup shot with the street here, which looks really nice. Maybe then go to the gun, the showreel, like the rotoscoping of the gun. And then perhaps the DHL. And then only after all of that, I would go back to the robot. And to be honest, man, I think the robot is the worst shot you have. And I think you could do much better without it, because I feel like unless you can make it much better, unless you can make it really high quality, I think it's gonna be a bit tricky, you know, for this to be on your showreel. So, but yeah, Tommaso, really good work, man. I need to applaud you. Like, I'm gonna make some applause here. So let's all give a round of applause to Tommaso, because compositing plates from the internet is very impressive stuff indeed. Congratulations, Tommaso. That's epic, legendary stuff going on there. Congratulations. We all know the pain of tracking H.264. It's horrible. So congratulations on that. Anyway, I'm gonna make another poll. I just wanted to ask all of you here, because I feel like a lot of people sometimes want to watch the showreel and they don't want to scrub through the 3 hours of the stream. So let me just make a new question here. So I'm gonna just put a poll here. So let's just see here. Let me just I'm gonna make a question. The question would be, should I pick up all these reviews, like the individual reviews, and make them short YouTube videos, you know? So that means each review, you know, Tommaso's review, you know, Alma's review, every single review would be like a short YouTube video. Should I make the reviews short YouTube videos? Now, obviously, I might do a new YouTube channel just for that, because I don't want to mix with my YouTube channel. So the question would be, should I make the reviews YouTube videos individual? So I should put individual. So individual. I'm gonna make a poll here. I'm gonna give a couple more minutes this time, so I'm gonna make it like 5 minutes. Well, I'm gonna give it 10 minutes because I'm gonna do a break. So let's do, should I make the review individual YouTube videos? Yes, no, keep them on the Twitch replays. Okay, so on Twitch. So I'm just gonna like make that. So I'm gonna put this poll, okay? So you have 10 minutes to do this poll. So I'm gonna do start poll here. So let's view results. I'm going to put the results on the screen for the moment. So we have 10 minutes to go through this this pool. I'm just going to put it on the screen here so you can see it. So this is the pool, and I'm gonna take advantage and actually doing a break during this time. So you have 10 minutes to vote on this. So the idea would be, should I make all the reviews individual YouTube videos so that anyone want to go and check the review, they can go. They should. The review, of course, obviously would have your name, but be careful though. I want to know if you can. If you allow me to put your review as a YouTube video, you know, obviously I'm gonna email and contact everyone individually to make sure everyone is happy to have that on the wild. Okay, so the reason why I'm asking this is because I feel like a lot of people can learn a lot by watching reviews. I at least have learned a lot over my career by listening to other people's reviews, because by watching someone else's review, by watching your showreel being critiqued, then you can learn a lot of things to your own shots. I feel like you can then develop your shots in a much better way. So by watching other people's mistakes and by watching other people's problems. So please, you know, let me know if I should do this or not. And yeah, I mean, it's, of course, I think it should be individual. So so let's okay, people are here saying they're learning a lot by watching reviews. Don't move signal points. What is that? Don't move. Oh yeah, you're talking about Roto. Rise is asking here, group them 4 at a time. I don't think I'll do that, Rise, because I think people would want to have their own review separately. So I'm gonna keep that. I can see that there's like 77% on doing them separately, and there's like on Twitch just 7. So keep voting this. I'm gonna do a break and we'll be back. Okay, so there's still about 7 minutes to go on this pool, so don't forget to vote. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna do a 5-minute break and I'll be right back. I'll see you very soon. Okay, I'm back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We still have about 67 people join. It's a shame we can't break the barrier of 75. I need always to have 75 average, otherwise I will never become a partner on Twitch. But we have 67 people watching. So we're still going with the vote. Should I end the vote? Because it's kind of like static for a while now. As you can see, 81% voted for me to keep them as individual YouTube videos, and then 0% said no, and 19% said keep them on Twitch. So I think then I think we have a clear winner, which is the making them as reviews. Now I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna make the reviews as separate videos on YouTube on my channel, or if I'm gonna make a channel just for that. Maybe perhaps I should do them on my channel, because I feel like a lot of people. What do you guys think? Like, do you think that a lot of people would like, a lot of composters would benefit by watching a review of Showreels? Do you think it would be beneficial for me to put it on my main YouTube channel? Because then I would, of course, have, you know, we have like 27,000 people watching, and at least a lot of people would see the Showreels. The cool thing about this is that not only people would see the showreel, they would see the feedback and they would see the critique, but also they would see the artist's work. I think that could be cool, because then you can kind of like, you know, if anyone likes your work, maybe, you never know, you know, maybe you'll be contacted to get some work. So what do you guys think about this? What do you feel about that? You think it would be helpful? So do you think it would be nice for me to put it on my main channel, you think? So okay, cool. Okay. Only benefit, but it will also encourage others to come to Twitch on their own reels. Yeah, that's true, Lee. That's correct. But I'm not really thinking about that. I'm more thinking about like people watching, and I think it would be really short videos, you know, because usually it takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to review a showreel, and you know, that would be like really small 5-minute videos, you know, and people can just watch them, learn a thing or two, and then maybe even look for that artist and see what they're doing. Obviously, I'm gonna have to ask permission from everyone. So everyone, I'm gonna ask permission one by one. You know, I'm gonna do that. I've been planning on doing two things as short videos on my YouTube channel. Either the showreel reviews would be one of them, and then the other one would be actually putting the tweet, you know, the tips of the day that I usually do when I'm doing compositing workshops. I would definitely put them as short videos as well, because they're usually like, you know, maybe 5-10 minutes long, and I think they are the perfect thing to have as a little short video, you know. Okay, so I'm just downloading the next showreel as well, and see here. Now there's a couple of questions on the chat. So Sajels, did you wrote the questions on Discord, or are you answering the questions yourself? I'm just checking if there's any questions, because I find it strange that we don't have any questions today. There's always questions, so I'm just checking if I've missed any questions. Did I miss any questions? No, because I can see some people ask. Oh, you're answering them. Okay. Well, if there's anything that you can answer, let me know and I can answer. Okay. Feel free to do that and to post the questions. Usually that's how Linny usually does there. Small questions. Okay, cool. Well, regardless of this, you probably noticed that the winner by a big margin, 81%, was should we make individual videos. So I'm going to start doing that next week. I'm going to start posting individual videos of them, okay? So let's go into the next showreel. So the next showreel is going to be, I hope he's here, Daniel Anderson. So is Daniel Anderson still here? Is he online? Is he on the chat? Daniel Anderson, which has a really nice, or did we watch him already? Maybe we did all watch him already. No, we did not. No. Daniel Anderson has a really good showreel here with a lot of really high production. So is he still here? Is he still here? I hope he is, because it would have been nice for us to review his showreel. Is Daniel here? Okay. Well, I'm not making notes of who's not here, so maybe I should start doing that, because then not here, so that we don't forget. Is Daniel here? Daniel Anderson? No? Oh man, that's a shame. This is such a good showreel to watch. Come on, Daniel. You're not online? You're not here watching us? Oh man, you lost your opportunity. But look at this. He has like Irishman, Favorite. Favorite is one of my favorite films of all times. Game of Thrones and Lost in Space. So he has a lot of stuff. Well, we're not gonna critique his showreel, but we're gonna watch it. At least we're gonna watch the showreel. Okay, we'll watch the showreel, and maybe Daniel can come back next time, and then I can critique his showreel. So let's watch his showreel at least. Come on, Daniel. I can't believe it. You have such a fantastic showreel and you're not here. I don't really have much feedback to give you. The shots are outstanding. But I have one criticism I need to do. And I will do that at the end. There's no sound on the showreel, by the way. That's why I'm talking. But yeah, Daniel has a really good showreel. One of the best showreels we've had on the streams so far. Very, very high quality. And very good films as well, which is really cool. But yeah, Daniel, I think you did an outstanding job. Congratulations, but I cannot... Man, I can't believe you did this. Like, there is just way too much information on screen. Come on, Daniel. You're putting a bunch of lines here of text, then you put a gigantic logo with the film and a gigantic pixelated logo of the company. Come on, man. Come on. Your showreel was so good. and then you do this stuff to me. Don't do this. This is just weird. So I would definitely reduce this pixelization, this logo, to maybe half of the time, half of the size, and also this Irishman thing, also half of the size, and also the text as well. Come on, because the problem you have here is that your shots are beautiful, and then you're just covering them. You're covering them with everything. Like, look at this. You're basically covering half of the shot with text. All this text needs to be on the bottom, you know, really tiny, just that no one almost hears it, you know. So I think that's the thing. Like, no one wants to see this much text because you're look here. You're removing so much of the shot. So you have an astonishing amount of good work here. It's just that it's a shame that it's ruined by so much text. So that would be my feedback to you. Hope you've listened to it and hope it helps. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one would be, let's see here. The next one would be this one here. So that's Emiliano. So is Emiliano here? Is he here? Is Emiliano here? Let me know if he's here. If he's here, is he here? Yes? Is this Kaiser? No, Kreiser 7. Is that you? Okay, cool. Excellent. So let's watch the showreel and then I'm gonna download it, okay? So let's watch the showreel first. Let's watch that first, and then we'll go for it. Okay, cool. That was really good work. So I'm gonna just download your showreel first. I need a link for that. Did you send me a link, Sajels, for Emiliano's showreel here? There you go. Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna download the showreel first. Very good work. I can see also. Wait a minute. Starting to review some kind of other things there. Pause. I'm just gonna download this first. Very good showreel. I think you did good job. Good job there. I can see some shots from our online course, which is cool. That's nice to be hit there. So let's start in here. I'm gonna just switch on my. I hope you're not. I hope everyone is still happy with this. Like, we still have like 67 people online. You're still all happy by watching showreel reviews. I hope you are. I know we had so many leftovers. You know, like we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no way we're gonna go through that today. But I think, like I said, I think I'm gonna start doing this. You know, I'm gonna start doing them. You know, once a week we do only reviews, and once a week we only do compositing. I think that's how I'm gonna split my streams. Okay. So that means I will always announce that, like we did on the pool earlier. Sometimes it will just be compositing, and sometimes it will just be reviews, okay? Now, CG Rockstar has a good point there. He says, although I don't completely agree with you, CG Rockstar, I have met artists that have been working for 20 years and they cannot review a shot. And that's because it's not just about you being used to reviewing shots with because you're a supervisor. It's more about looking with a photography eye. You know, the more you photograph, the more you take photos, the better you become at reviewing shots, I believe. Like, I've been taking photos for 20 years and I've become better and better because I'm watching at photos and I'm watching at what my camera photographs. And then I'm looking for what your shots or really are compared to a photo, you know. So, but anyway, let's get back to Emiliano's here. So, remove the sound. So first shot here, keying roto matte painting, fading away, a film trailer by Matteo Locenti. Really nice that you've posted all the information. If anything, I would say that I would put the text a bit smaller. I still think it's too big. But I think you did a really good job with the reflections, and also the key. Looks very, very good. I can see all the details everywhere, and I don't think you've missed anything. Your matte extraction is actually very, very good. You can kind of see the actual extraction. I'm assuming that you probably used one of the channels to actually output that. Your edges look really nice. It's really nice that you're showing me the matte as well. This is a wonderful way to do it. You have a really nice background with matte painting, and also the different parallaxing and everything with the different sticks and the different pillars going around with the correct motion blur. If anything, I would just say that perhaps maybe a little bit more camera shake, because usually train, especially a train this old, would shake a bit more. But I think it looks terrific, very well done, and I think you did a wonderful job with the light trapping, with the key, with the edges. Everything is very well made. So congratulations on that. And it's nice for you to start on this shot because it's one of your strongest shots. So congratulations on that. Then you move on to this shot. This is actually a shot from my online course. So this is from the Kickstarter course. I need to give you guys more shots, don't worry. Juggernaut is actually asking here, background perspective. I don't think the background perspective is that bad. Obviously, when you look at the actual matte painting you build, it looks wrong when you just look at the matte painting like that. But once you look at it through the blurriness and the depth of field and everything, I think it looks okay. If anything, you know, maybe I would agree, Juggernaut, that maybe it could have been a bit lower, because if you look at the vanishing point of these, I'm actually gonna do this. So very well spotted, Juggernaut, by that. So if I put this thing here and if I draw on top, I'm just gonna draw it. I need to get like a software that I can draw on top. There's nothing for the Mac at the moment. I need to like do that. So you see, if I do a vanishing point with these two things, sorry. If I do a vanishing point from here to there to there, and then I do a vanishing point from the bottom would be like that. Not that much, but maybe like that. So that means if that's the vanishing... Oh, this thing is so annoying because he tries to correct my lines. I don't want him to correct my lines. So vanishing point would be like this. That means that as I go off screen here, my horizon would be maybe here at the moment. And so it feels like it's maybe perhaps correct. It looks like it's correct. So maybe it is working. I was just gonna say that maybe it should be a bit lower. Maybe perhaps this mountain should be slightly lower, and then that means that the poles that would go on, maybe they could be as it is. But if anything, I would just lower the mountain. But I think it's looking good. And the spill suppression, it's a bit of a gray area here, really, if you think about it, because it depends on how this jacket is. Like at the moment when I look at the jacket, it kind of looks like the jacket is velvety. So it's a bit unsure. And this, I guess, if we look at the original, we see all this green being reflected to the jacket. And as you can see, Emiliano has removed that from the jacket, and he still has a little bit of a green. He almost has like a bit of a gray. But it's a bit hard to tell because maybe that's how the tissue is. If anything, maybe, Emmanuel, you could at least maybe reduce the color on these and maybe completely make them black and white first. And then maybe color correct them into the same tonality of the jacket. That could have helped, I think, for the spill suppression to be even more perfect. But at first glance, it looks fine. But I think the spill suppression... Yeah, so those would be the two things that maybe I would adjust. The mountains, lower them a little bit. And then the spill suppression, just like I can't pronounce your name. Just like Aziz Barak Kandaz says, it would have to be a bit better, the spill suppression on this jacket here. So I think those would be the two things that I would try to adjust a bit, you know. Now, in terms of this shot here, we have obviously the challenge of this shot is to remove the light rig, which is on the ceiling here, and these cablings, which are like that as well. And as far as I can see by looking at your video, it's very compressed, so it looks like you did a good job with the cleanup. I don't really see any issues there. I think you've removed the thing and kept most of the detail as it should. It's hard to tell with the compression of Vimeo, but it looks to me like you did a good job. I'm just like going frame by frame. I think so. Maybe there's a little bump there. I'm just gonna scrub a bit more there. No, that's correct. Yeah, so I think you did a good job there. I think this is definitely good. So I don't really have anything to say about that shot. Now, this shot here, this is a sky replacement projection, 3D projection. So let's just go through the shot again. So, sorry, and then the other thing that you did was the projection. So where's the projection? Wait a minute. Yeah, the floor there. So, okay. So, I would say that when you removed this, I don't know what that is though. Like, I guess these are like some metal bars fixed there. When you clean that up, I can kind of see the shape of your clean. I can still see that there's a bit of a shape there. There's a bit of blurriness going on here. It's almost like you lost detail on this area. And I think it's probably your removal needs a bit more definition, needs more sharpness. This is a common problem when you do a 3D projection system and you don't increase the resolution on the actual projection, then you end up with problems like this. So you probably want to make sure you have at least, and imagine if the plate is HD, you want to have like maybe a 4K or a 3K projection. If your plate is 4K, you might want to have an 8K projection. You just want to make sure you don't make so much blur. Obviously, it's hard to tell with Vimeo's compression, but it feels to me like if I look around on the rest of the floor, you see it's so detailed everywhere. I can kind of see a lot of the details on the floor. I can see a lot of details on the cement. And then in here, I stop seeing details. And these details were there because you see there? You've kind of removed, these details are gone, these details are gone, so it's all gone. It's all very blurry, so you need to be careful with that. Now, in terms of the sky looks fine to me. I mean, it was very bright anyway, so it looks fine to me. I think you did a good job. I don't see any issues. I'm just looking at the edges there. Doesn't seem like there's any issues with the sky. It's very straightforward sky. It's like white to blue, so it's not very hard anyway. So you did a good job there. I'm just checking if the reflections of the windows are actually matching as well, and they are. They look like they're matching. So yeah, that's a good shot. So I just think that you need to work a bit on this paint. It's mostly, it needs to be sharper and more defined. You need to kind of steal some detail from maybe the left side here and put it into the center, you know, perhaps try to do that to see if you can recover some more detail there. I think that would really help, you know. Now this shot here, so you have screen replacement, 2D tracking and cleanup. So I'm assuming it's the cables and the, no, it's not the cables actually. I thought it was the cables. So what else did you clean up then? It was just the TVs then. Oh yeah, it's only the TVs. Okay. This is a nice touch, man. This is a really nice touch that you've actually put the reflection on the surface of the wood being reflected from the TV. That's nice. If anything, I would say, though, is that the TV edge should also be brighter. So you see, when you have the TV switched off, that edge there is dark because the TV is off. As the TV would be on, I would see a brighter edge around the TV in here and on there. So you're missing that. But you did a really nice light interaction here on the piece of wood where the TV is standing. That's really nice. I think they did a really good job there. I would also say that his hand should also be affected by that light because this is so much light. You see, the TV is so bright. it would definitely affect the hand here. You would definitely see a piece of white going on here as a rim light, and it would rim light inside the fingers as well. You know, the face perhaps a little bit on the side as well, since you see in terms of depth, his face is actually in the front and the hand is a little bit on the front. So I would paint in a little bit of light on this hand, a little bit of light just on this side of the face, because as you can see, regardless if the TV is on or on, you don't really see anything. And I think it's a shame that you actually don't have that. So, and then in this one here, I would say the same. I think you did the reflections on the floor, didn't you? That was really nice touch. So you see, you did a really nice reflection here with the TV, although the reflection is not really matching, because you see, if I look at here, you see, yes, the middle of the TV, which is this one, should be reflected there, but I don't understand why you have the edges brighter. So you see the TV ends there and it ends here. So why would we have reflections going outside the boundaries of the TV? That is a mistake for me as well. And the other thing as well is that it would never be this bright as well. Like if you think about it, it would never go all the way to here, because the TV is not that bright for it to be so powerful. If you look in here, you did a really good job with this TV on the left. That's really nice, that kind of blurriness. But this one here is a bit too much. But it's well done, though. And then the last TV here, I think, looks great. You did also, again, the interaction with the light on the wood surface, which was nice. I think that's a good thing. Nothing else would be affected by this TV. It's so tiny, so it's a really good shot. But I'm being very, very picky, okay? I hope you understand that. I'm being extremely picky. So I would say that you just like missing these little things. But it just needs a little bit more work. So yeah. Well, the cables, I mean, the cables would not really cut the reflection. You would still see light affecting the cable. I just feel, so I think the cable is correctly lit. The problem here, I think, is just that this is too powerful. It's almost like it's a spotlight, and it's just a TV. TVs don't make that much light, you know. So maybe the next time, if you actually were on set for this, what I would ask of you is that maybe photograph the TVs with something on the screen, so that you can have some kind of reference. I think that would be a good idea. So I think that would help. So. Okay, and then on the second shot, I think it's pretty much the same thing. I think that's well made. Although you didn't really do any light interaction, but perhaps this TV is so weak. Yeah, I think it wouldn't do interaction anyway. There's like a really strong light here, so I think you did good. Reflections in plastics, it's really nice as well, so good job with that. This one here, again, this is a shot from the online course I have from Kickstarter. So this is from the short film I supervised years ago from Peter Lavolzi, Land in Slow Motion. So you did a good key, but you have a bit of flickering happening on the hair. You can kind of see on your alpha channel, you have a little bit of flickering, especially on the top there. You can kind of see that there's like a little bit of flicker going on there. So there's like a few holes there that you need to kind of recover. So you need to kind of look into that. And you can kind of see them when you're comping the shot as well. I can kind of see that it's like stealing a little bit of the edge there. But overall, it's a good job. And I think it does look good. There's also like a bit of a white edge on the arm here. There's something going on here. You shouldn't really have this much edge there. And I think that's just because you need to make the roto a little bit better there. Just a bit more tighter. But then it goes away because, of course, there's a white object underneath. So I think you did a good job. This one here is one of your weakest shots. You know, I think it's just that the interaction is not really working. Like, if you think about it, like fire... If you would be inside a room with this much fire, it would be super bright. Like because you need to think about, like, when this was shot, they've exposed the shot. So this is the original plate, right? So I think this is the original plate, yeah. So see, they expose the actor and they have the background, right? And then the problem I have with this is that this bright, the environment is not actually being lit up by this fire. You see, how can you have fire here but then have no bounce of fire? Why is this pillar not lit up by that fire? Why is this bright, like this dark area, why is it not being lit up by fire? You have this massive fire there, but then where is the light interaction underneath this pillar? This entire pillar should be lit up. This entire rock should be lit up. Everything should be being lit up by this fire. So I think this shot is actually your worst shot on the show reel. And unless you can fix this, I think you should remove it. I think you should remove this shot, because not only the guy should be affected by the light, but all the pillars, all the metals, almost like you should have painted all that light in. And I'm just missing that. The same goes for this shot here as well. Again, you have this much fire. Man, look at this. How can you have this fire on the floor here, but then the floor in front of it is not lit by the fire? Now, like you would have so much more light interaction. Like even the person, because of all this fire, they would have a rim light. So you should have a rim light on him. Even on the shot before, like even here, for example, he should have had a rim light, because his head should have been lit by the fire behind it. And also, these fires on the side should actually have made a rim light on him. So he should have had a rim light on the right side, lighting up the face, lighting up the hair, and lighting up the jacket as well. So I think you're really missing that. And obviously also this on set, someone should have actually put a light here. They should have put like an actual spot to light him up, because he should have had so much more light in here. So I think you have a lot of work to do on those shots. These two shots with the fire, they really require a lot of work. And it's a shame, because, you know, it would have looked so much better. The second one is better, by the way. The second one is better than the first one. But you still have to, like, work on this, because it requires a lot of things. Yeah, exactly. Like Sajels is saying, like CG Rockstar is saying, the darker the surroundings, the brighter the light and saturation. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Now, Juggernaut says, does these lighting choices ever become push-pull conversation with the DP? Yeah, of course it is. If I was on set on this shot, I would have talked with the director of photography, and I would have told him, okay, guys, this is a fire, okay? So we need to have a yellow LED here, we need to have a yellow LED there, and a yellow LED here, and one here. And then they would have probably complained, oh, but how are we going to clean all that up? Well, it's a super simple cleanup. It's a static shot, you know? It's super simple for us to clean, to basically shoot a clean plate, and then put the lights, film a light pass, and then I can use the clean plate to basically fix all these areas that shouldn't have light. So it's actually used. And not to mention that a lot of the lights would be covered by the fire itself, you know? This is why when you look at like a lot of DOPs, they use real lights on set to fix fires, you know? I think the most common thing that you would see lately, one of the like if you look at here, 1917, I think I showed this, I think I showed this before, but if I go in here, this shot here, so see, for example, this shot here, which is from, oh, by the way, this is from before and afters. You should all go and support before and afters. It's in a wonderful website. They have a Patreon as well, and you should really help them out. So you see here what Roger Deakins did. So Roger Deakins basically put, the CG department had to put a CG building on fire. And as you can see, the building is on fire, it's on CG, and it's actually lighting up the floor, right? But you see what Roger Deakins, the DP, did. He basically put a bunch of yellow lights with smoke, and that is actually giving you the atmospheric lighting, the edge lighting, and also the surface lighting of the floor. And so all this floor is actually used on the shot. You see, they didn't even need to replace anything. All this fire lit up the floor this much, and then they could replace and put the CG. So this is the way to go. You need to kind of look at these kind of photo CG plates and breakdowns and really try to make this kind of stuff, like actually have real lights on set. This is why they won the VFX Oscar, you know, because this is kind of like, you know, they know what you're doing, you know, like they really know what they're doing. Anyway, these are the two worst shots you have. So then this one, 3D projection roto. I think it's nice you removed the logo. You've also removed the tracking markers and you actually added the logo onto him. There's a bit of a problem with the roto here though. Would have been nice if you would have stabilized the shot, because the shot is going up and down. Would have been nice if it would have been stabilized. Like the roto is a bit loose here. So you see, I kind of see like a white edge there. I see a white edge on the hand there. And definitely this is not a correct roto for the hand. So I think you need to do a better job at that roto so that we don't have these white edges around. But it's almost there. It's just I'm being very picky. If anything, I would stabilize this shot as well, you know, to make it work even better. And then this shot here, basically muzzle flash, and you have light interaction as well on the muzzle flash. I'm just gonna go a bit back there. So light interaction is working, although I think you're going a bit too far with the light interaction. If you think about it, the light is here. It would be very hard for me to believe that the light would lit up the arms so much and would lit up the back of the face. It would only lit up the front of the face. It would only lit up here because there's a shadow there. And also it would only lit up maybe here. It wouldn't lit up so much, I think. It would be a bit less. And also your muzzle flash is very blurred. It would be nice if you can get a better muzzle flash, I think. I definitely believe you can find a better muzzle flash for this. But anyway, Emiliano, oh, God damn it, I can't speak today. And this is a very good showreel. And I think, you know, I think you did a good job. I was very picky, of course. So Chrysler 7, like, you did a great job. I think you shouldn't be too upset about the feedback I gave you. I just think that you just need to do a little bit more to make it perfect, you know. And I definitely think you did a great job on choosing the shots. I think this is one of your best shots. Definitely it's good to have it on the beginning for sure. So yeah, overall is a really good showreel. So so Emiliano, thank you so much for sending the showreel, and no problem. Okay, so we're gonna do a break because I need to stretch my legs. It's already hurting. We've been running for 2 hours and 10 minutes already. So we're gonna do a short break, and when we come back, we will do a couple of more. And if you have any questions, let me know as well. Okay. So let me know, and I'll talk to you very soon. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget, everyone, you need to stretch your legs, you need to drink some water, you need to relax your eyes for a little while, okay? So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Hope you've all stretched your legs. I'm gonna drink a nice weird drink today. My drink, the weird drink of today is Tesco's pink lemonade, which is actually pink. So if anyone wants to try it, this is a very strange drink, but it's very good. It's sweet and citrus from Tesco, pink lemonade. So no Pepsi today. Nice to you to do breaks. Yes, it is very important to do breaks every 45 minutes. I've learned that the hard way. I have like a sciatica back problem. That's why I do breaks now, all the time. Anyway, as I was, you tasted this and it's awesome. Yes, it is, isn't it? This drink is amazing, by the way. And I think a lot of people don't really get it, don't give it so much credit, you know, and I don't know why. Let's just see, what did I close? I think I just want to share a link with you guys again. Just give me a second. Recently closed tab. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it anymore. I had like a tab here. Oh, I need to go to Facebook then to find that link. Just give me a second. Give me just a second. It's so warm in my office. Jesus Christ. It is so warm right now here. It's like 29 degrees. Woohoo! Oh my God, I'm gonna die here today. So I was just gonna, I already said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. If you've missed my talk about alternative methods of income on the creative industry, please don't forget that you can rewatch it for free. So that's the link of watching that stream. So basically, it's a session called Alternative Methods of Income for the Creative Industry. We had about 300 people on this stream. It was really good. And it was wonderful because we had some really good questions and we covered a lot. So definitely I would recommend you. There's a question on the Discord. So I have a question here. The question is from Red27377. So his question is, how do you know how much light should be reflected on other surfaces? So again, like I said, Red27377 asks, how do I know how much light should be reflected on other surfaces? So here's the thing. You only will know about light reflection and diffusing and specularity if you learn photography. I would really recommend you to learn photography. But I'm not talking about taking photos with your iPhone. I'm talking about taking real photos with a lens, with a camera. So basically, you know, I've seen a lot of my students starting to do that, including I've noticed like a lot of really cool photos that Lenny has been posting on Facebook as well. It's really important for you to understand light by taking photos, you know. And then, of course, there are some books that could help you with that. So I'll give you, for example, 2 books that might help you. Let me open up here. So where's the book? Where is it? I have it here somewhere, and then I have so many books on the back here. Sometimes it takes me a while. Give me just a second. Can't find it now. Here we go. So I'm gonna do a little suggestion here with 3 books, okay? So if you want to know a lot about lighting and how lighting behave, I would probably recommend you to read this book. So this is called Light for Visual Artists, and it's a really good book. I think I need to have a bit more light on my room because it's really getting darker outside. So I would really recommend you to watch this book. This book basically has some small mini tutorials, you know, of certain lights. It has light wraps. It's really good for you to develop your sense of light and to understand how light behaves and how diffuse behaves and how reflections behave. And it has really good things. It's a really good book. So I would recommend this book, Then I would recommend this book as well. So this is a cinematography book from Filmcraft. So this book here has several interviews with cinematographers, and of course cinematographers are very good at controlling light, you know. So I would recommend this book. This is a book called Filmcraft Cinematography, and it has interviews and it has like articles about, from several very well-known directors. And then it has, shows examples of their work. It shows like multiple examples of their work. And then you can kind of like learn a bit from their craft. One last book that I would recommend, a pretty technical book. So this is John Alton. This is John Alton, which is a DOP, a very famous director of photography. This is a book called Painting with Light. It's called Painting with Light. So this is a really, really good book. John Alton is already dead. He was basically a cinematographer from Hungary. He was an Hungarian-born cinematographer. He did a lot of work, He did a lot of work on film noir, films like He Walked by the Night. He did a lot of westerns. He did a lot of musicals, including The American in Paris, which he won an Oscar for. And then you also have Todd McCarthy, which is a critic for the Variety magazine as well. And you also have John Bailey, which is also a director of photography that has worked on many films since the 70s. Very good book. And the cool thing about this book is that it showcases how they actually use how they use flags, how they use certain blockers for lighting. And not only that, but they also have diagrams of lighting from very famous films. So for example, here you can kind of see that they show how they do the diagrams. You know, I can't show it because I can't see it. You see here? They show like some diagrams of how they actually achieve certain shots in very famous films. So this is a really good book for you to learn a bit more about light. And then my last recommendation would be to maybe sign up for the American Cinematographer. I'm gonna just show you one magazine. Where is it? It's here. So the American Cinematographer is a really good magazine about cinema, DOP, lighting, and also approaches to lighting. Very good magazine. I subscribe it every month and really teaches you a lot about light as well, you know, so those are good. Now there's a couple of other books here that people are posting here. Let me just open up and see what that is. So one of them is what? 3ds Max lighting. Oh, is this like a book about 3ds Max? Okay, cool. Is it a free book or is it like you pay for it? Thank you so much for sharing. Much obliged. And there's another, yeah, Painting on Light. That's the one. Yeah, that's a really good book. Recently, I saw a stream from DOP, from the Pixar's DOP, and he was also suggesting this book as a really good book. Oh, Visions of Light. That's cool. I never heard of that. Is that a book as well? No, that's not a book. I think it's a documentary. Just let's see what that is. Visions of Light. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check that out. I don't know what that is. So I guess, you know, to answer your question, Red 27377, almost looks like I'm talking to a prisoner. To answer your question, I think it has to do with the way that you need to learn photography to become good at lighting. Another book that I would probably recommend would be this one. So this is a book about photography, and it's called Understanding Exposure. And this book here basically is a book to teach you how to take better photos, you know. So it's literally like a book where you learn the fundamentals of light, you learn aperture, shutter speed, how they interact and influence with each other. And yeah, so this is a really good book as well. Understanding Exposure, I would recommend you as well. So if you read these books, or if you kind of like learn a bit more about photography, then you can become much better at understanding how light interacts, and then you can become much better. It goes back to what you were saying before, like you guys were saying before. Oh, how do you, Sajels was saying that, oh, how do you know how to notice all these things on shots? Well, like I said, I notice these things because I know photography. That's the thing, you know, like I think it's, if you know photography, then you can learn, you can develop your eye, you know, for photography. Now, the other question Red 27377 had was, is there a formula? Not really, there isn't a formula, you know. So Bashir4 has a question. Is it feasible to fix this in post? It seems like you'd pretty much have to rebuild the whole scene in CG to proper light interact. So Basher 4, you're probably talking about the shot with light, right? With fire. Yeah, you probably would have to rebuild some kind of set on CG for you to do a proper relighting. But you don't need to go to CG. You can probably do it in Nuke. You know, you can probably do it with simple geometry for sure. I think that would be possible as well. Then I have also Yaz Sobar. I think Was Sobar. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. Sorry. I've learned more when I watch. So is there any videos you recommend? Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really watch documentaries about cinematography or photography. I'm sure there are YouTube videos that you can look. I can't really, top of my head now, remember anything. But I'm sure there are videos out there. If anyone knows good photography videos out there, just, you know, just feel free to promote it on the chat. You know, I would love to know. And thank you so much, Log to Lynn. Thank you so much, Lenny, for sharing that wonderful link. I didn't know about that link, actually. That's a really nice link. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a really good link that Log to Lynn shared there. Yeah, Philip Bloom is good. I think he has some videos. I think he would be a good fit for you to learn more about photography. Now, Psalm 2788 says, anything for colorblind artists? I'm sorry, I don't know of that. No, I mean, if you're colorblind, you're going to have a bit of a problem if you're going to do lighting or photography or even compositing or finalizing shots. Being colorblind, it's going to be a bit tricky for you to finish shots. But you can still do comp, of course. You can still do rotoscoping. You can still do practical visual effects. It's just you cannot be the one deciding the final color. That's the only thing. Yeah. Okay, so what do you mean? Another review on showreels. What, you want more showreels? Okay, that's fine. I can give more showreels. Okay, let's do one last one because I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream soon. Let's see here. Where were we? We were on Emiliano. We already did. So now we're going to go for. So let me ask you this: is Baptiste Kremer here? Is he still here? Is he actually in here on the chat? If he's on the chat, I can do his showreel. If he's not on the chat, I'll move on to the next one. Oh, sorry, I don't have it on screen. Then you don't know what I'm talking about. So, is Baptiste Kremer on the chat? Yes, I'm here. Okay. A Dropbox link? Yeah, sure. If you have one, that would be great. If not, don't worry. Like we can download it from Vimeo if you don't have one at hand, you know. So Psalm 2788, I'm not randomly picking the showreels, okay? I'm doing them in order. So this was the showreel order we got. So I've done all these today. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done 6 so far. These were the ones left over from last time. So don't worry, like next time we will do the showreels that are I'm just adding them to the end, you know. If you've missed the beginning of my stream, we've made a decision that we are gonna we've made a pool with all of you, and we are going to you know, we're basically not doing them randomly. We're doing as first come, first serve, you know. When you come in and you give a link, then I put it on the list of orders that we have. So it's basically as the order they come in that I showed. But like we did on the pool, I'm going to start making one day where we only do reviews like today, and then one day we will only do compositing. So you'll see that when I announced my streams. And obviously if you are a follower of my channel, if you're a subscriber to my channel, then you'll get an email saying what I'm going to do on the stream. So I will always tell everyone what am I doing on that stream, if I'm doing a stream about compositing or if I'm doing a stream about showreel reviews, okay? I will always tell everyone what's going to happen. And taking this opportunity to also letting you know that it would be super helpful if you can support my channel on as a subscriber. So if you become a subscriber on my channel, it will really help my channel to grow and for me to do more streams. And don't forget that if you have Amazon Prime, it's actually free for you to subscribe to my channel. You don't have to pay anything. And I basically get money from Amazon. So if you do have an Amazon Prime subscription, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would be wonderful. The more subscribers I have, the more ability I have to make more streams, the more I can stay online, you know, because obviously I need to monetize my stream. Otherwise, I can't really do all of this for free, you know, like I need to kind of support my YouTube channel and my Discord, my Twitch channel. So if you have Amazon Prime, please consider supporting the channel because it's free for you. If you don't have Amazon Prime, that's okay as well. You know, that's okay. Like you can always subscribe to my channel anyway. And any support would be amazing. Like I would be so thankful for that. I'm going to put a link there. So if you want to know how to basically connect your Amazon Prime, Twitch, you can always read more about it in here. So let me just see here. So link. So I'm just gonna put a link here. Linking and unlinking your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a link here for Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, please. Oh, wait a minute. That was not the link that I wanted to send. This is the link I wanted to send. Sorry, that's the link I wanted to send. So maybe read more about it here, or you can also read more about it here as well. And like I said, it would be free for you. So I'm just waiting for the help file to open up here. So again, if you want to support, I know some Amazon Primes, some countries don't support Amazon Prime. I know that. So sorry about that, of course. Not all of them can be there, but you know, at least some of you can. Okay, so one last question. This time is from Rashput. When do we use iPod, specifically if it's just to deal with values above than 1 and also having reflections better than screen but less than plus? Well, I don't really use the iPod merge operation that much. I don't really, to be honest. You know, when I want to deal with the values, I basically just reduce values by using color correction. But so I can't really help you with this, I think, because I don't really know much about it.
Right. A little bit more to the left.
Ah, thank you so much.
A little bit more to the right.
Chris Janssens, I think. Chris
Just a little bit more to the right.
Janssens for the subscription
Just a
tier
little bit
1.
more to
Much
the left.
appreciated
Just
for
a
the
bit more
subscription.
to the
Thank you
right.
so much for that. Much appreciated. It really helps my channel. Okay, let's move on to the next showreel. So the next showreel... Oh yeah, that's right. We were looking into... So is Baptiste Kremer, is he here? Was he here? I can't remember now.
More to the left. No, a little bit more to the right.
Oh, thank you so much, Jargonaut, for the subscription. Much appreciated.
Just a little bit more to the left.
So Jargonaut is
Just a
now
little
a
bit more to the
Twitch
right.
Prime subscriber as well.
Just a
Thank you
little
so
bit more
much
to
for
the
that.
left.
Really helps
Just a
my
bit more
channel
to
a
the
lot.
right.
So is Baptiste here, or should I move on to the next one? Is he here? Did anyone remember if he was here? Because I can't remember if he was. Oh, okay, sorry. sorry, man. I missed completely your... Yeah, you're right. You already sent it. I just, like, got distracted, as I usually do. Just going to copy your Dropbox link here, and let's just do this. So... Oh, what is this? What is this? It doesn't let me go into this link. So is this a Dropbox link, or... Wait a minute. You've posted it in the chat as well, didn't you? See if I can find it somewhere. Man, where is it? Could you post it again on the chat? Because the link on Discord doesn't work. That gives me that thing, which is weird. So could you just post the actual link that he sent? Oh, yeah, I found it. Never mind. I don't need you to post it. I found it. I think it's this one here. No, it's still the same thing. So it doesn't allow me to go in. Why is that? Is this something from Facebook? I've never seen this before. Workplace. No, still not. Oh, here you go. Now I can do it. Okay, cool. Download, direct downloads. Cool. Thanks so much for the link. I pronounced your name correctly. That's good. I'm glad at least I pronounced one person correctly. That's absolutely amazing. I never do this correctly, so sorry. Sorry for that. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay, let's watch his showreel first, and then we will, after that, review the showreel. Okay, I'm going to just remove my camera, and let's just watch the showreel first. Cool. So, very nice work. Very nice work, Baptiste. Baptiste, I guess. Is that how I say it? Baptiste? Would that be correct? Baptiste. So yeah, very good work. I think you have a strong showreel. There's a couple of things that I would say, though. in regards to your showreel. So first of all, I wanted to ask you, like, is this showreel for compositing, or is it for CG, or you're a generalist? What's your deal with this? Is it for generalist work? Is that what you're trying to get here? Let me know. I'm gonna put my webcam on again as well. Is it for generalist work or is it for compositing? Okay, I guess I will never know. Generalist, okay. But you're specializing in compositing and surfacing. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Okay, so I think in terms of your showreel, I noticed on your first shot, the Lego bricks, it's extremely noisy, especially if you look at inside of the bricks there. You have an enormous amount of noise going on the actual bricks and on the Lego. You also have a lot of flickering going on the speculars. So you might want to consider either improving the samples of your speculars in your lighting, and also improving the samples overall of the rendering, because there is too much noise going on this Lego piece, and it doesn't help the fact that the plate doesn't have as much noise. So I think it would be good if you can increase the samples. And I understand because it's going to take longer to render, you know, but it would be nice if you could try to do that. I think that would be nice. Haven't had much time to render. Yeah, well, if you can go back and maybe leave it during the weekend, then you can probably get it to work a bit better. Now, one thing I didn't really understood what happened was why do we have a light that switches off inside? Is that in purpose? Because in here, it looks like suddenly there's a mistake. I guess the light is off, and then one of the Lego guys shows up, and that's nice, but it kind of makes me think that it's a mistake when the light goes off. Maybe perhaps leave the light on, because I just think it's a bit strange that we see the light going off. It interacts the light as well here. So it's almost like now it actually is brighter there. So you have some kind of problem going on here where when the light is on, this is darker in here, but then one frame to the other, you have a brighter area. So it almost looks to me like you had two renders and then you merge them or something. So it's a bit strange that you have no light here and then you suddenly have dark and then you have no dark. So that is a bit peculiar. The other thing as well that you have an issue with is the actual depth of field in motion blur and everything. So if you look at just look at, for example, this rug here. I think this is a rug, right? Or something similar. See the amount of motion blur and depth of field that you have on this rug? It's always very blurred, very defocused. And then just look at, if I draw a line, a vanishing point here, you know, so if I go to copy this and go in here, let's just do another vanishing point here. So if I go in here and I open up this thing here, see, if I make a line like that, so you see, that's my vanishing point. You can kind of see that much defocus in depth of field would also happen here. You see, all of this should be super defocused and super blurred, because you see the table on the floor is really blurred and this thing is really blurred. So I think you need to really improve that. And it's almost like a rack defocus, because as we go up, then you see this rug gets sharper because the camera is now focusing more to the center, because obviously as you go up, there's less motion blur. So you need to kind of do a rack defocus. Basically, the blur needs to now ease off for it to work, you know? Scatman is saying, this is insane, you can see all of that. Well, why not? It's all there. What do you mean I can't see that? It's all there. But I appreciate the compliment, Scatman. I appreciate that. But yeah, those are problems that you need to kind of like fix, address. Specularity is a really annoying thing. A recommendation for the depth of field node would be to use the Z defocus. I would say that use the Z defocus and maybe perhaps use a depth of field pass, because you in CG you should definitely build this surface in CG so that you can have a real piece of depth of field for you to create that depth of field, you know. So that would be my approach. And in here you can kind of see the speculars are pinging quite a lot. You see On some, you see, for example, look at this one. That one disappears and appears and disappears and appears and it disappears and appears. You can't have these much pings of flickering going in and out. And this is usually a problem either being produced by a clamped HDR, could be an HDR with too many values, or you just need to sample up the speculars. One thing that I've done in the past, one thing I've done in the past is to actually denoise the specular pass. I think that would work, you know. Also, I mean, Juggernaut has a good point. HDR looks great. Yes, it does. Lighting looks great as well. Please keep in mind, I'm being very harsh and I'm being very picky with the showreel, but that's what you want. You know, you want to have all the criticism and all the details that you want to improve on the showreel. But definitely your shadow pass looks great, your HDR shot looks great, your lighting also looks great. So I think you did a good job there. I just feel like you have those extra things you need to fix, you know. So like even motion blurs, for example, if you look at the amount of motion blur that exists both on the rug and also on the table, and then it lacks on your CG. Your CG does not have enough motion blur to match the rest of the shot. You know, the plate. The plate is always the way that you use as a mat. Like the plate is the perfect place for you to get all the references you need. Okay, it's very important for you to think about that. Okay, so let's move on to the next shot. So this is actually a turntable, and again on the turntable, I again see the noisy of it. Like you see a huge amount of noise happening on these gray bricks here as well. But I like your turntable. There's also like something going on the surface of this Lego brick, like this Lego character. Usually the fronts are not this noisy, so you're having a lot of specularity, harshness on both that and also here. This is really not the material of the Lego bricks, especially the shirts. I don't believe it has this kind of material, so you kind of have to look into that. But I like your turntable. That is a nice turntable. I like the fact that you have a turntable on the character, and the character is actually passing through the CG, almost hitting it. It's almost like almost getting sniped in the eye. Look at that. You almost kill him with the corner of the house. That's awesome. Definitely denoising would help. What kind of render engine was this, by the way? Is this Redshift? Does anyone know what kind of render engine is it? Because I don't think anyone said that yet, did they? Did you say what kind of render engine was it? Okay, so this is Arnold. Okay, but I usually work with RenderMan. Okay, cool. Well, Arnold has a denoiser as well, and you can always denoise in comp as well. So, but I like your breakdown. I like your way of showing light. I would just pump up the samples because you still have too much noise on everything. Look at that. It should not be this noisy, you know. You should have really nice feathered shadows here. And this is just a matter of you leaving it with more quality and keep longer render times, you know. And I know it's hard because then you have to take a long time to render, but that's the way to go, you know. Okay, so this is the breakdown. Okay, so I think you spent too much time on this shot, by the way. So I've already seen the shot, and I think as soon as I saw the shot, I should have seen the breakdown, and then you can have a turntable. I don't think I need to see the shot again. I think the breakdown should have been together with the other shot, just so you know. Okay. So, but yeah, Juggernaut has a good point. Neat video is perfect for everything. Like neat video is good for denoising speculars, it's good to denoise renders, it's good to denoise lighting. You can literally use it for everything. So really look into neat video because it's really powerful in that sense. Okay, so then this one here, this looks really nice as a shot. I do think that it is a shame that it's so dark on the back, you know. I know you're focusing on the furry friend, but it's a shame that there's no detail whatsoever here because this looks so nice, you know, it looks so photographic. But then the bouquet looks a bit strange. It's a bit strange that I have like a line going across this shape. But I know it's all about this furry friend. And he looks great, by the way. I like the fact that you have... Oh, by the way, you have a frame here that goes berserk for some reason. So you need to fix this. Because you have like... how many frames? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 4 frames here where you have like a stray of fur that goes off. Okay, so you need to fix this. But yeah, I think you did a great job. The tissue looks really good. The fur looks really good. I like the fact that you have little bumps and little lack of fur in certain points. You know, this kind of looks like it's been like roughed up. I like that it's been roughed up. I like that you have a little piece here without the fur being there. It's really, really cool. You know, you did some good job. If anything, I would just do more of that. You know, I would rough up more of the fur everywhere, even on the you know, on the ears and everything. So, but you just need to fix this thing. This is a bit strange. So you need to just fix that and not have it on your showreel. I like this side here as well, where you have like moments where you don't even have fur. That's really nice. I like this wear and tear that you put in on him. Maybe perhaps consider some dirt as well. That would be nice. I'm being very picky, by the way. This is really good work. I just telling you that it would have been nice if you have a bit of dirt as well. Maybe a few holes on the tissue. That would have been nice as well. I think that would have worked. But your lighting pass looks great. This shot is your weakest shot. I just feel like it doesn't work very well. There's a lot of problems on the shot as well in terms of flickers. Like, for example, look at the planet here. Do you see all these lines? What are these? Like, why do we have like straight horizontal black lines going across? There's a bunch of them, you know. So there's one here, there's one there, there's one there. There's like a bunch of glitches going on across. So I think you need to work this planet. I understand that you've done everything in Nuke, but you can kind of tell that it was done all in Nuke because it looks a bit fake and it doesn't really look... I think this is the weakest shot you have on your showreel, so you need to be careful with this, you know. Oh, thank you so much, Lenny. Thank you so much for all the help again, Lenny. I'm gonna be closing this stream in about 5 minutes or so, so yeah, I won't come back. But thank you so much for being here, much appreciated. Again, round of applause for Lenny. She's always so amazing at moderating our stream. Okay, so going back to this shot, I think this is the weakest shot you have, and I would definitely not have this shot at all on your showreel. Then you go into this environment. Like, this is really nice, man. You did some good lighting here. Although it's very noisy, but it's really nice photographic lighting in here. I think you did great, you know. It looks all very natural. I like the fact that you have all these indirect lights. I like the fact you have all these bounces. I mean, it looks terrific. You have a lot of details, even with the you know, the shapes of the bottles and also the shapes of the glasses. I love the fact that you have a lot of dirt and a lot of leftover dry drinks on the surface of the glass. I love that you have dirt on the mirror as well. Maybe perhaps a bit too much dirt. But this is a beautiful shot. And I think this shot should be on the beginning, you know, because this is the best shot you have. Like, the Lego shot looks nice, and the first shot looks nice. But this shot, this does not look nice. This is the worst shot you have. But this shot is your best shot, man, in terms of lighting and in direction and also in natural lighting. It should be on the front of your showreel because it really just proves that you have really good taste in terms of lighting direction, you know. I think you did a really good job. It's nice that you have a breakdown. It would have been nice if you had some kind of movement. It would have been lovely if you could put a camera move on this. That would have been amazing. And I knew you're gonna have a lot of flickering problems, but maybe you can bake certain parts. That would have been nice if you can bake some of them, so that you can actually have could have a moving. But it's very important for you to start with your best shot, okay? And then on second place, you should have your second best shot, because you want to grab the attention of the supervisor. You don't want a supervisor to stop watching your showreel, because you need to understand, again, like I say many times, we get hundreds of showreels all the time. So sometimes we might skip your showreel because we didn't thought it was good enough the first shot. So, and then last but not least, your garage shot also looks terrific. I think your lighting looks great. If anything, I would just say that there's a bit of a lack of detail on this pillar. Perhaps the pillar looks a bit too rusted. I mean, if anyone would have a pillar that rusted, that would be a dangerous house. But I think, again, outstanding lighting. You just proved, obviously I would love to see more samples on this, because I still think you have too much noise happening on your shot. But it's just that it's really beautiful that you've made such a naturalistic lighting, almost from a photography point of view. Your work is very photographic, so I think you did really well here. I do think Jargonaut has a good point. It would be nice if we could see something outside. I just feel like it's too blurred and it's too random and abstract back there. So I definitely think you should have something going on there. And I also think Sagel's CG Rockstar has a point. The pillar would pick up a bit of rim light as well. I just think but those are like little fine-tuning things, And again, I would love to see a camera move on this, because it looks really nice, So yeah, you did a good job there. Now your car also looks nice. Would have been nice to see a turntable of the car. That would have been nice, I think, because I would love to see the back of the car as well. I would love to see the front of the car. I love the way that you actually have scratches on the car and everything. This is really nice. So yeah, this looks terrific. I don't really have much to say. I prefer your original one though, because it looks much more realistic. I'm assuming this is RenderMan maybe, or is it still Arnold? Is this still Arnold? It looks really good. But again, you still have the same issue with noise. Although your paint work looks really nice, it would be nice to have the noise a bit more reduced. And it would have been nice to have like a good turntable, It's RenderMan, okay. I thought so. It looks like RenderMan. So going back to your original showreel, I really think that you need to reorder these shots. I think the Lego shot looks nice, but you need to gather it together. So I would personally start your showreel with this shot here. I would start with this shot. Maybe perhaps after this shot, then I might go to the Lego. After the Lego shot, I might go to the teddy bear. And then maybe I would go to the garage. And then maybe go to the car. All these shots look terrific. The only shot that doesn't look good is this one. So I would completely remove it from your showreel because it's really bringing down your showreel, It just doesn't look good enough. It has a lot of errors. It has a lot of glitches, a lot of black edges, a lot of problems. So in regards to the light, the spotlights, Sajels was just making a comment there. I think it looks nice. I think so. But Sajels is saying make your in or that glass 1.1, so basically no refraction, and tweak the light inside so maybe you can see the details of the interior bulb. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that watching the bulb a little bit would be nice because it's perhaps a little bit overexposed. Yes, well, Jargonaut, absolutely, it should have bloom, but I don't believe this shot has been comped because I feel like it hasn't been comped. If it would have been comped, yes, you would have had a little bloom of the light. You also would have a little bloom from this thing here as well. It would have been nice if maybe you can go to Nuke and maybe add a bit of depth of field, add a bit of gloom, and maybe add a little bit of compositing into it. And I understand that it's a RenderMan render. It looks very much like a cartoon, but it's cool, man. It's very, very cool. Very good work. Very good work. So yeah, congratulations for the good showreel, Baptiste. It was really, really nice. So I think I do apologize that we didn't do all the reels. We are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to go, but we're gonna do it next time. So don't forget, we have changed some stuff on our streams. From now on, I'm going to make one stream just about showreel reviews and one stream just about compositing. I'm gonna start splitting my streams, okay? So just keep an eye on my YouTube channel, keep an eye on my Twitter, keep an eye on my Facebook. Also keep an eye on, and if you're a subscriber to my Twitch stream, then you'll get emails anyway. But thank you so much for being here today. I'm gonna try to do 2 a week at least. Maybe not 3, maybe 2 a week. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for being here. We had a really good audience today. We had about 70 people almost at all times. We were online for about 3 hours, so thank you so much for that. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you enough for this. And don't forget that if you want to support my channel, don't forget to actually, you know, subscribe to my channel on Twitch, and you can definitely use the Amazon Prime subscription for free. It would be completely for free for you to do it. So yeah, I think that's it. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing as always, and I hope you are all safe, and I hope you are all gonna keep safe. Don't forget to not leave your house. Try to be safe. Try to wash your hands as much as you can. Try to make sure you keep a distance to everyone else, and don't be caught off guard by this virus, which has been killing a lot of people, you know. And obviously my condolences to anyone that has been affected by this virus, and also of course my condolences to anyone that has been affected from a work point of view as well, if they lost their jobs because of this. Thank you so much for being here, and just stay strong. We're gonna all, you know, we're gonna end this at some point. We're all gonna go back to our regular lives, I hope. So we're gonna be able to do this, you know. So thank you so much for everything. So I'll see you guys in a couple of days. I'll make sure I'll promote the next stream. It'll probably be midweek, so I'm gonna start maybe doing one at midweek and one on Sundays. And like I said, one of them will be showreel reviews. The other one will be compositing. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel on Twitch. Don't forget to use your Amazon Prime subscription. And I'll leave you to it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.